and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at all the Avian August birds that I've done. I did finish these up on the weekend. Today is Tuesday and I finished them up mostly Friday and Saturday. So I have a couple quick clips to show you of just some work I did on Saturday and a new sticker I'm working on. And then once those are done, then we'll get into the review. So let's take a look. So I'm working on drawing birds today. I have 4 to do, because I was supposed to do 2 yesterday, I didn't. So I'm doing the American Woodcock. But the other day I started working on a sticker. So I did some printouts to test some sizes. My printer's messy. But this is the 3-inch size. And so I thought I would do this bird. Let's see. I did him a couple days ago. And so he's an Arctic tern. And so I thought I would do this cute little sticker. So I did a mock-up in Illustrator. And so this is what I came up with. And then I put it into Sticker Mule for ordering. And I'm going to do a holographic sticker. So it's got this cool sheen to it. And so these should be coming in a couple weeks. So I'm really excited to have this new sticker in my shop. So right now I'm going to work on my birds. I guess they're not birds. Well, they are birds. I'm going to work on my Avian August. And so this is where I got on the weekend. So I was supposed to do 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and then 2 today, which is Sunday. And I drew all of these yesterday. So I need to paint them. I'm going to paint them right now. And then I guess I need to do 2 more birds and paint them. Hopefully I can get them done. But then, yeah, so that will finish out Avian August. I honestly didn't do this many birds during the challenge. I tried to stick with 1 a day, and I did pretty good, but I need to catch up. So as you can see, I finished all my birds, and I did work on those few just on the weekend. I literally powered through these, so I want to share all the birds that I did. I just started working in my sketchbook, so I'm trying to find the page where I started, which is right here. Yeah, so let's take a look. 31 days in August, so we have 31 birds, and I'm so excited. This is the 2nd year I've done this challenge, and I finished it. So I feel pretty accomplished, and I'm glad, even though I was a month late, getting some things done for, you know, other reasons. I'm happy that I finished it. So here's a look at my birds that I did. So starting with the first one, we have the American Goldfinch. That's my favorite bird ever. I love the color yellow, so that was really exciting to start with that one. Then we have the Ruddy Quail Dove. He was August 2nd. On this page, first we have the Horned Grab for August 3rd. I was really excited how the water came out with him and a little bit of his reflection. I don't paint a lot of water, and I was kind of anxious about doing this picture. So I was happy with how that turned out and pretty psyched that the water kind of came across as water and didn't just look like some mud on the page. This next bird is an iwi, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I thought this one was really interesting upside down, and I tried to pick different poses that aren't typical for birds, like seeing a typical pose. So just trying to stretch my legs a little bit with this challenge, and yeah, this guy was really fun. Then coming into day 5, we have the Adelie Penguin. I love this one. If you've ever seen Pingu, looking up the photos that I was using for reference were just hilarious. I just love, like, he looks so much like Pingu, or these penguins look like Pingu, so, which is a favorite childhood character of mine, so I had so much fun looking into references for this guy. And then the Azure Tit here on day 6, and this one has some blue. I really like just how harmonious this page came out in general with all the blues and just light colors. The birds really complemented in their coloring and went nice together on this page. So I thought the layout was really nice. I really liked the way this one turned out, and doing the wings spread out like this was a little bit more challenging. But I enjoyed the challenge. I thought it turned out really good. So my next one here took up the full page. This was day 7, the Roseate Spoonbill, and a lot of these birds I've never heard of. This one I found this hilarious picture where this bird was standing up in a creek or a swamp and spreading his wings out, and he's really pink like a flamingo. So that was a fun color to paint. And his little bill, like having this big wide bill that I guess they dig down into the mud, I guess, under the water to get their food, or that they just scoop it under the water in general. Yeah, so this one was pretty interesting. It does not look like a bird at all, but it got a lot of interest when I posted it to Instagram, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And then this page here, day 8, my birthday, the Lahore pigeon, or Lahore maybe, and then the wood duck for day 9. This page, I really didn't like this layout in general. I wasn't very satisfied. I thought the birds were okay, but everything was just very like sparse and small and didn't fill this page very nicely. I just felt that proportions were kind of off. I don't know if I was trying to fit 3 birds on here and did smaller ones and ended up with 2. I'm not sure what my train of thought was at the time. This one here is one of the, not the first time, but one of the rare times that I broke the frame on this and tried to use the entire spread. And so on day 10, we have the ChestnutSided Warbler. I had fun playing with the colors with this one, even though they were pretty neutral in general. His colors were pretty neutral, but I had fun dropping some pops of color in there. And then this guy here, the RedCrowned Turrico. I'm just going to move my pen. There we go, my pen thing, jar, I guess. It's in the way of my book. This one just breaks the frame, and so I was trying to use the entire layout, and I don't normally do this. When I paint, it's like this is the one side and this is the other, and everything fits in one of those 2 spaces. So doing this was really like groundbreaking for me and kind of like way outside my comfort zone, but I thought it turned out okay. And I was kind of worried that, and I think I mentioned this in the last video that I did where I reviewed the first half of Avian August, I was just worried about breaking the frame in general, that it would have this white line. And then when I painted it, actually the stitching took on the coloring of what I was painting, so you really don't see it that much. It doesn't like stand out too bad that it's this line or seam in the middle of the book. So my poor little bird was doing okay, and I thought if I had to, worst come to worst, I could put this in Photoshop and make this line disappear anyways. Yeah, but so that was really cool that this guy kind of broke both sides. And then over here I have the American Robin, and the more I look at this, the more I like the coloring and what I did. It doesn't really look like a robin to me. It does, but I think the shape is different. But I think this was a younger robin that I referenced, so I feel like that's probably why it doesn't look as much like a typical robin to me that I'm used to seeing in the yard. Overall, this layout or this spread again was kind of tiny, or like everything's very like segmented. It doesn't feel like it's big and flowy like I like the pages to be, but I mean, this feels better than the last layout, so I was pretty happy with this, even though it's not my best work, I guess. And then moving over to this page, things are getting a little bigger, and we have the Geyer Falcon, I think, August 13th. And this one, I was just painting the reference, and I didn't realize until after there was a little bit of red on his beak and red on his claws or his talons, and of course he probably just had dinner, so I painted that because it was in the reference, and I wasn't thinking about it at the time until after I looked at this, and I thought, yeah, you know what? I don't think that bird has red on him. I think it's his dinner. He didn't wipe his face. And then we have the Golden Conure, August 14th. This poor bird, I forgot to paint his little perch, so that will remain the color it is. But I thought this one turned out pretty good. I like the way his beak coloring turned out and his form overall, and he has kind of a unique angle, looking down, three-quarter view type thing, and his little looking over his shoulder type pose. So it was nice to do this one, and yeah, I like the proportions on this page. It was definitely better than I've been doing so far. Moving over to this side, this Barn Owl, August 15th, is probably one of my favorites. And again, the Barn Owl is kind of one of those ones that doesn't have a lot of bright colors or very vibrant. But sometimes I like doing ones that are like that because then I can really stretch my coloring and perception of the color, I guess. And so I really love the way this guy turned out, and I really worked on maintaining the shadows too because he had some strong lighting on him, and I wanted to make sure that that was carried through in the painting. So I was so happy with the way he turned out. He's probably one of my favorites. And then for August 16th, there's the snowcap hummingbird. And this guy is really interesting. He has this very broad kind of forehead feathering, and not like any hummingbirds we have around where I live, but it was fun just learning about all these new birds I've never heard of. And this character over here, the red-crowned crane, August 17th, I think this was the most, or one of the most liked of my Instagram posts that I always post it every day. And that helps me with accountability too, to make sure I keep up with the challenge, and it's fun looking at everyone else's art. So of my posts, this one was one of the most popular. I think this one had the most likes. But this one actually was easy to paint. He was a little more tricky to draw because there's some unique shapes there, and especially when you get into the feathers, all the little points and defining all the different layers of feathers. That can sometimes get to be a bit, a lot of work actually, but the coloring in general was really fun, and I really enjoyed painting that one. I thought he turned out well, and he fit on this page so perfectly. Like, he just barely hit the bottom, just barely hit the top. And I didn't have to mess or like condense any proportions. He just happened to turn out that way. I find that I'm still not great at it, but my proportions in general are getting better, except for those few I showed where I was drawing really tiny. And then this page, everything's getting very much bigger, and so a lot more confidence going on here. So I have the superb bird of paradise, and this bird's very interesting. August 18th. So this one, I think, I don't know, but this is like, it's kind of like a peacock when they put up their feathers, and they look different than when this plumage or whatever this is down, and they just look like a normal bird. I don't know if this is maybe like to attract other birds or to look scary to other animals and whatever. I don't really know a lot about it, but there were some interesting pictures with this bird, and that was really fun to draw and paint. And that one got a lot of interest too on Instagram. I thought no one's gonna be interested in this drawing I've done because it does not look like a bird, but yeah, sometimes it's those ones that surprise you. And on August 19th, we have the broad-billed toady, and this one's super cute, and I loved the green, just having that kind of tropical color and playing with what kind of interesting colors I could have dropped or could drop in with that to brighten it up was really fun. August 20th, we have the violet-backed starling, and this is so gorgeous. We have starlings, and they look like blackbirds, and we don't really see a lot of them around where I live. Like, they are in our area, but they don't come around as much as they used to when I was younger. But this one's beautiful. It's this pretty magenta and purpley color, and very vibrant and just bright. And so that was super fun to learn about and paint. And then we have the barred parakeet over here, super cute too, August 21st. And as I paint like kind of these type of birds, like parrots and budgies and those types of, they kind of have their own category, I think, or in their looks anyways. I'm just happy and satisfied that I can make them look like those types of birds, and they don't just look like, you know, typical outdoor birds. The eyes are different and stuff, so I'm learning a lot with just doing this variety of birds, because I typically just paint outdoor, you know, typical songbirds and stuff, so that was really fun. And over to this spread, so August 22nd, the Orinoco goose, I guess. This guy was really interesting. I thought it was really interesting how prominent his legs were. He had really solid, thick legs. Like ducks usually have thinner, I find thinner legs, and then they have their big webbed feet. Well, this is a goose, but he looked like a duck and in the reference photo, but he had these very broad legs, so I wanted to make sure I captured those. And then a common blackbird. I really had fun with the colors here, doing some dark purples and blues and trying to pique some interest in where it would just normally be just a darker coloring. And then over here, so this is where I picked up after I took a break. So I thought my drawings actually were, I was surprised. I thought these were better than this where I left off. And it's kind of interesting because if you have, I don't know, there's so many things that have to be perfect for you to draw well versus not drawing your best, and mood and motivation is a big part of that. So definitely this is in a better, I don't want to say a better space, but just a more settled space for me at this time, I think. Or more than it was, really. Not settled, but anyway, so the Arctic Tern, and I did a video of Paint With Me, so I'll put a link so you can check that out. And this one I had so much fun. It wasn't very long for me to paint or draw. I can't believe especially when you take a break, it's so nerve-wracking to come back because you feel like you're nervous to even put one pencil mark on the page. And I sketched this guy in 20 minutes. I think I had him painted in under an hour and a half and inked and colored, and yeah, so the video is really cool. It's a very quick video. So anyways, I'll put the link if you'd like to check that out. And then the sulfur-crested cockatoo, I was really excited the way the colorings, especially in here, they kind of blended together, and he's more of like a yellowy white, and just I wanted to add some of the shadow using some cool colors on this side and some highlight colors over here with the more warm tones. And he did have like the white on him wasn't exactly white, it was more of a warmish color, so a little bit of this cream or yellow. And then he had this broad yellow color here, and then a strong yellow in his tail. So I thought that was really fun, and I thought that turned out pretty good. And then this page is one of my favorites. I really enjoyed this. So this is the marathon page I did on the weekend, as you saw. The American Woodcock, I think that's probably my favorite on this entire spread that I'll show you. August 26th, August 26th bird, 6th bird. Yes, so I thought this one turned out really good. I really enjoyed putting like the purples in the shadows and just getting all that color and making it a little bit more interesting. He's very brown and he's very gray too. He's got some gray in him, and he's more like hiding in the leaves type of bird, and so he has a lot of neutral colors. So I had some fun playing with those. And then we have the ivory-billed woodpecker, August 27th. And this one, again, was a lot of fun. I took liberties with the black and made it, I like to use purples and blues and just kind of punch them up a bit and really emphasize the red, and adding a bit of like orange or the bright orange too from the core set, which really intensifies the red. Over here, this one my mom said was her favorite bird of like this spread that I showed her. This is the lanceolated jay, August 28th. And this guy is a skinnier bird, so he really is an odd bird in this layout. But he is completely more of a grayish, bluish gray color. And so around where I live, we have blue jays, just the typical kind that have a lot of white and a lot of prominent blue. So this one was fun to paint too. He's a little bit different, but he's still, you can tell he's a part of the blue jay family, especially with his tail markings and these blocks of color on the tip of his wings. Also, we have the white-headed vulture, August 29th, and this one is so peculiar. I loved this picture. It kind of reminds me of that spoonbill back in the book, the pink one. This guy just standing prominently, and he looks like he's in his trousers or something, and his hair blowing in the wind as like little feathers are pulling back this way, like there's wind coming and blowing his feathers in the picture in the reference I found. I just thought this was really peculiar. And my sister probably gave me the best compliment on this when I showed her. I sent her a picture and she's like, wow, that's terrifying and beautiful, but terrifying. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's a good compliment because I conveyed probably what he would look like if you were with him, because he probably is pretty terrifying. But, and then the fact that she said it looked beautiful was very kind. And then the last birds of the challenge, we're on the last page. So we've got August 30th was down here first, and we've got the red jungle fowl. I was excited to see that was a chicken. This guy's a skinny chicken. Maybe I should have gave him a little bit more prominence on the bottom, but he is what he is now. So I loved painting the greens though, the shiny greens that kind of, I guess like a peacock, like I mentioned before. that kind of peacock green that's kind of iridescent is really pretty. And then the last one, the last bird in this challenge was the albino ringneck dove. And this one was so beautiful and very plain and simple and elegant and very sleek lines. And so I really enjoyed trying some different colors. Normally with white, I just come in with a blue shadow to highlight or to emphasize the white color of anything I paint that typically. With this one, I went more with some warmer tones, some ochres, and a little bit of a mix of indigo, like a very soft wash to bring in some form shadows for that. And again, the pops of color are a little bit different. They're a bit more on the warm side, still blue, but more warm. And I really enjoyed painting that. I thought it turned out pretty good. So those are all the birds I painted for Avian August. I'm so excited that I'm done this challenge. There is another challenge coming up in October, which is in a few days. And so that is the Birdtober, I believe it's called. So I'll put some information in the description below. I'll put a link to the Instagram of the person who's curating that challenge. And so I think I might do that as well. I feel like all I do is paint birds. I do like painting birds, but I honestly thought I had missed the October challenge. I thought it was in September. And so when I seen that it was coming up, I wanted to make sure I pushed through this challenge to get to the next one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything else I want to paint right now. So I'm just going to keep pushing along. I need to finish this actually for my trip to Dublin. I'm going to keep pushing along with my birds. And yeah, we'll see. I don't know if I'll do every day of that challenge. I might, but I think it'll be nice to try out some more birds, I guess, and see if I can make it, maybe see if I can make it through the month. Who knows? Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video and this look at my sketchbook of Avian August. If you did, be sure to give the video a like and subscribe so you're notified as I post more videos to my channel. I do have some art supplies that I ordered today, so I'm going to do a haul when they arrive. It's my first time ordering from this company, and I'm excited just to see how they arrive. And they shipped within 3 hours of me ordering. I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked. And they have such a great selection. So stay tuned for that video and I'll reveal where I bought them and what I got. Yeah, so anyways, I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.